Historically, the first Democratic presidential caucus of the cycle is held in Iowa. Days later, the first Democratic presidential primary is held in New Hampshire. To both states, it's important that they be the first in the nation to do so, but some people think that this is a problem, including Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now!, who posed this question to presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren.
Do you think the order of the primary states should change? You have Iowa and New Hampshire.
Wait, let me just, before you finish, are you actually going to ask me to sit here and criticize Iowa and New Hampshire?
No, I'm asking about the order.
No, that is what Iowa and New Hampshire
let me
are all
just
about.
ask.
And Warren is right. Being first is exactly what Iowa and New Hampshire are all about. And it's so important to them that it's written in their respective state laws. It's all they have. They're just trying to hold on to the only thing that makes them special in an election year, well, and in general.
They're two of the whitest states in the country. And then we move to South Carolina with a very significant population of people of color. And it means the candidates spend so much of their time catering to those first two states. Overall, do you think that should change?
Look, I'm just a player in the game.
Yeah, don't hate the playa, hate the game, girl. So this election cycle, the first two states to hold a caucus and a primary after Iowa and New Hampshire are Nevada and South Carolina, respectively. And while the population makeup of Iowa and New Hampshire are mostly white, Nevada and South Carolina are a bit more diverse race-wise. So Julian Castro, who is still running for president for some reason, was asked a similar question regarding the order of state caucuses and primaries.
What I really appreciate about Iowans and the folks in New Hampshire is that they take this process very seriously. They vet the candidates, they show up at town halls, they give people a good hearing.
But
at the same time, demographically, it's not reflective of the United States as a whole, certainly not reflective of the Democratic Party, and I believe that other states should have their chance.
In other words, Iowa and New Hampshire are too white. Got it.
So yes, of course, we need to find other states. And that doesn't mean that Iowa and New Hampshire can't still play an important role.
Right.
But I don't believe that forever we should be married to Iowa and New Hampshire going first. And that's just the truth of the way that I see it.
Yeah, speak your truth, Castro. Castro's a little salty due to the fact that in Iowa and New Hampshire, he consistently polls in the single digits. In the latest CBS News YouGov poll in Iowa, Castro is tied in 8th place, along with Cory Booker, Andrew Yang, Steve Bullock, and someone else. And in New Hampshire, he's polling at 0%. Oof. In a Vogue.com article, Castro said that nobody can pretend that the first 1 or 2 states don't have an oversized influence on what happens in the whole process. If you can't do well in Iowa or New Hampshire, then the chances of doing well in Nevada or South Carolina are much slimmer. So fine, let's pretend that the Nevada caucuses and the South Carolina primary were held first. You know, in 2 states with more diversity. In the same CBS News and YouGov polling, Castro is at 1% in Nevada, and in South Carolina, he's polling at 0. Okay, but what about a poll from a really diverse state? Say like Texas. Not only is it the second most diverse in the union, but it also just happens to be Castro's home state. Let's take a look. According to a University of Texas Texas Tribune poll, he receives 2% of the vote, tied in 9th place behind Andrew Yang, Kamala Harris, and Don't Know. But my diversity! And overall, regardless of region, Castro's polling average is at 1%. That's even behind former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, who hasn't even officially entered the race yet. And since he hasn't met the minimum polling requirement, he didn't qualify for the 5th Democratic presidential debate and will likely not make the 6th, probably because of statements like this. There's a difference between states that are diverse and those that are not. If people are living and working around people that are different from themselves, they are more likely as people and as voters to understand a range of different issues in more depth. Gee, maybe if he wasn't so quick to shit on white people, he might poll better with white people. Castro's argument that Iowa and New Hampshire aren't diverse enough to vote for a person of color is dubious. In 2008, Barack Obama won in Iowa and tied with Hillary Clinton in the number of delegates in New Hampshire. Not to mention that Obama won Iowa and New Hampshire in the general election. But yeah, lack of diversity or whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching, sharing, and hitting that like button. And be sure that you're subscribed to the channel and hit that bell to get notified when new videos come out. Thanks again for stopping by, and I hope to see you all next time.